And one of the mentors, I think Professor Mary, she told a very good quotation that we are unique because thousands and hundreds and thousands of youth and young people come to us with a very unique dreams of life. Some of them would like to become great scientists, and some of them would like to become a pilot, and some of them may become engineers. So the people we are dealing with, and the commodities we are dealing with are our students who have a lot of dreams in their minds, in their eyes. And the unique challenge is to transform and translate their dream into reality. And that is the point where the real role of a teacher comes. It's never measured with a grade or chair or whether I'm sitting there or not. It never is measured with the cars and the seats and the pulsing privileges. Yes, certainly that is our needs of life. But the real measurement towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is that whether we have created that capacity in our students which can enable them to translate their dream into reality. And we are always very thankful to our teachers, very committed teachers. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless them. Most of them have died now. That their selflessness was the source of inspiration for us all time. And that is the point where the teachers and the faculty lead the society. So in that context, I believe that we are unique. When I talk we, I also say I'm a teacher, born as a teacher and die as a teacher. The second, which I think gives us a very high distinction in this part of the world, is that we are located in a very blessed part of the world. And I'll just show you a few slides that why we are unique and why you are unique. Maybe after some time I'm not unique like you, because when my tenure will be over, someone else will come and take over. But you will remain to be unique because this region where you are located is unique in the world. This is not an ordinary place, let me tell you. कभी भी ये न सोचे कि हम अंडर प्रिविलेज है या अंडर डेवलप्ड है या हम दुनिया से पीछे हैं और हम डाउन से I never thought for a single moment while sitting in Karakoram University that we can't compete with any best university of the world. You are unique. Because the natural setting and the endowment we have in this part of the world is unique in many ways, and I'll share with you. हमें जो अल्लाह ताला ने बच्ची ने जो हशमत साहब का अल्लाह को जवाहर रहमत में जगह दे, शेर के चार पहाड़ी सिलसिले चारों तरफ है, बीच में हम है, मिसाले गोरे नायाब हम पत्थर में रहते हैं. You see every word of this. ये जो नज़म के हर लफ्ज़ पे आप सोचे तो आपको उस शायर की भी अज़मत नजर आएगी हशमत साहब की कि उसने किस तरह सोच की. That we are located in one of the unique parts of the world. Maybe not more than 5 in the world, 4 or 5 in the world. So we must be thankful to Allah कि जिसने हमें मुंतखब किया. सबसे पहले तो उस prophetic profession के लिए जिसमें रसूलुल्लाह सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम खुद कहते हैं कि मैं एक मुअल्लिम हूँ. मेरी बासत का जो मकसद था अखलाक का तकमील था. तो पहले तो हमें इसमें अल्लाह ताला का बड़ा शुक्र अदा करना चाहिए. दूसरा ये कि हम एक ऐसे खित्ते में हैं जो हर लिहाज से यूनिक है. तो इस दुआई कलमात के साथ कि अल्लाह ताला हमें और ज़्यादा तवानाइयाँ दे. कुछ चीज़ें ज़ाहिर हमारे गिरदोपेश में हो जाती है, दुख भी होता है, तकलीफ भी होती है. और एज ए फैमिली ऑफ KIU हमें अपने आप से भी सवाल करना पड़ता है कि वाई ऑल दिस आर हैपनिंग टू मी. لیکن کل بھی میں اپنے دوستوں سے ایک واقعہ کہ کبھی آپ ایک منظر اپنے ذہن میں لائیں کہ ایک معلم اعظم طائف میں جاتا ہے اور لوگوں کو نیکی کا راستہ دکھانے کے لیے تنہا، اور پھر سارے طائف کے لوگ اس کو برا بلا کہنے کے بعد محلے کے لوگ اور بچوں کو ان کے پیچھے، اور پھر ایک وقت آتا ہے کہ ان پہ پتھر کرتے ہیں، ان کے دانت شہید کرتے ہیں، ان کے نالے مبارک زخمی کرتے ہیں۔ تو یہاں پہ باطل کا جو جھگڑا ہے یہ ازل سے ہے اور ابد تک رہے گا۔ ہمارا کام بڑا سمپل ہے کہ ہم نے امیدیں پہلے اندر لانی ہے اور پھر دوسروں کو، اس لیے ہمیں کبھی بھی نا امید نہیں ہونا چاہیے۔ ہاں، جب کبھی اس طرح کے واقعات ہوتے ہیں تو مجھے اس چیز کا ضرور ادراک ہوتا ہے کہ شاید ہمارا کام ابھی ادھورا ہے، شاید ابھی ہمیں مزید محنت کی ضرورت ہے، کیونکہ کسی بھی لمحے کے لیے آپ تصور نہیں کر سکتے کہ معاشرے میں چند لوگ اٹھ کے تعلیمی اداروں کو جلائیں گے۔ معاشرے میں رات کے 2 بجے 150 لوگ مٹی کا تیل اور پیٹرول آپ کے اداروں پہ چھڑکیں گے، تو یہ تصور بذات خود بڑا تکلیف دہ ہے۔ لیکن اس کے ساتھ ساتھ یہ بھی ایک ضروری بات ہے کہ یہ کیوں ہے۔ میں ہمیشہ کہتا ہوں کہ ڈائلاگ ہمیں معاشرے کے ساتھ کرنا ہوگا، ہمیں مکالمہ اس معاشرے کے ساتھ کرنا ہوگا، کیونکہ اگر میں سمجھوں کہ میں اس یونیورسٹی کی 4 دیواری کے اندر محفوظ ہوں تو میں کبھی نہیں محفوظ ہوں۔ وہ چند لوگ جو معاشرے کی بہت کم تعداد میں ہے، وہ نہیں چاہتے کہ معاشرہ آگے جائے، اور انہوں نے قومیت، زبان، مسلک، علاقائیت کی بنیاد پہ وہ دیواریں کبھی کی ہیں جو ہمیں ایک دوسرے کے قریب آنے سے روکتی ہیں۔ تو ہمارا چیلنج یہ بھی ہے کہ ہم ان لوگوں کو بھی اپنا پیغام پہنچائیں، ان کے ساتھ بھی مکالمہ کریں۔ ہم کسی کے ساتھ نہیں لڑ سکتے۔ میں نے تمام اسٹیک ہولڈر کو کہا کہ we don't have anything to fight, the only thing we have is to fight with the pen۔ ہم صرف قلم کے زور سے لڑ سکتے ہیں، قلم کے زور سے مکالمہ کر سکتے ہیں، قلم کے زور سے اپنی قوت کو بیان بھی کر سکتے ہیں اور ثابت بھی کر سکتے ہیں۔ مجھے خوشی ہے کہ الحمدللہ KIU کو جو اللہ تعالیٰ نے ٹیم دی ہے، I always feel very proud of it۔ اور میں کہتا ہوں کہ ایک ایسی ٹیم آپ کے درمیان موجود ہے، آپ لوگوں کی، کہ جو حقیقت میں دونوں چیزوں کا ادراک رکھتے ہیں کہ ہماری انفرادیت کیا ہے، بحیثیت ایک فیکلٹی اور بحیثیت اس علاقے کے باسی کے۔ تو انشاءاللہ یہ محنت کا سفر جاری رہے گا، یہ خلوص کا سفر جاری رہے گا، اور اس میں مشکلات بھی آئیں گی، اس میں چیلنجز بھی آئیں گی، اس میں لوگ ہماری جان کو بھی تھریٹ کریں گے، ہمارے بچوں کو بھی تھریٹ کریں گے، لیکن جو ہمارا سفر ہے وہ تکلیف دہ ضرور ہے، لیکن یاد رکھیں آخرت اور دنیا کی کامیابی اسی میں ہے۔ ہم اپنا سفر جاری رکھیں گے کیونکہ ہمارے بچے بچیاں بھی بیٹھے ہیں، اور علم و تحقیق کی یہ جو شمع کراکورم یونیورسٹی کے حوالے سے روشن کی گئی ہے، انشاءاللہ اس کی کرنیں ہر جگہ پہنچ جائیں گی۔ ڈاکٹر صاحب، I would request you to read with me۔ آپ ادھر آ جائیں، because I would not like to speak more than yours۔ Okay, so we have a happy New Year for all of you۔
Dear colleagues, speakers, students and collaborators from abroad and Pakistan, we welcome you this research colloquium and appreciate the hard work of organizing committee, particularly Dr. Khalil Ahmed. The objective of this colloquium are sharing interdisciplinary research within and outside the country, develop a platform for collaboration collaborative research, encouraging the budding researcher, MS and PhD students, develop a research-based culture at KIU, GB, and HKH, formalize and expedite the research monitoring and the timely competition. I pray and hope that curriculum provides a platform of learning for the students, faculty, and all. This is the significance of HKH region. 8 countries, Pakistan, India, Bangladesh, Nepal, Afghanistan, Bhutan, and China. 3,500 kilometers provide ecosystem services, water, food, energy. They directly sustain the livelihood of 240 million people in the mountains and the hills of the HKH. 1.9 billion people benefited at the downstream and the 10 major rivers, Indus, Gangas, Brahmaputra, Elim, Mekong, Irrawaddy, Salween, Yellow. Home to some of the most diverse cultures, languages, religions, and traditional knowledge systems.
Just showing the education in the 8 countries. Majority of this talk has been is a review possibly taken from the EC mode reports, some of the recent papers. And you can just see that how these 8 countries and 10 river systems are feeding to the different parts of the world. And you see the Indus, for instance, is one of the largest after Ganga, and we are going to talk about downstream impact. The one man shown in the figure is showing you 10 million people. So you can just multiply that with the number of men standing in the, and that tells you how the trickle-down effect of this HKH region is reaching to the entire world, almost 1/3 of the global population. This again is showing the pictorially the strengths of this region. When we discussed that, like this will be one of the 4 diverse biodiversity region in the world, and that's what I told you, that you are unique because you are placed in a very unique area. Okay.
Looming challenges characterize the HKH as environmental, socio-cultural, and economic changes are impacting livelihoods, environmental conditions, and sustainability. The drivers of change impacting sustainability are interactive, inseparably linked, and increasingly influenced by the regional and global developments. However, for mountain communities, some changes may also present novel opportunities for sustainable development. These are the major issues in HKH. Poverty rates in the mountainous areas of the HKH at around 33% are higher than the national average of 25%. Food insecurity. More than 30% of the population suffers from the food insecurity, and around 50% face some form of malnutrition. The region experiences high rates of auto-migration, many of the males, women, and the children particularly vulnerable part of the society. The HKH mountains are as hotspot of the climate change, where temperature amplification by the elevated dependent warming is evident. Increased glacial melting, glacial lake formation, unplanned economic growth, and the growing inequality and the current governance system. Another major issue is in the HKH region that it has experienced a rapid increase in air pollution in the recent decades. Climate-induced disasters, especially the globes and the floods. Transboundary issues, impeding deeper and wider research.
This is just showing you the urbanization, and you can see some of the hotspots which are shown in the kind of reddish or brownish, and some parts even in GB, at least 5 or 6 spots are considered to be the emerging urban centers in the next 5 to 10 years. So at one hand, the skilled and the capable people are out migrating, and at the other hand, the rural population is internally migrating from the villages to the cities, which is creating a high burden on the cities. Some of the problems we will see. Okay. So this is telling you that how the climate change has been unfortunate with this part of the world, though we are not contributing too much to the global warming, is the industrially advanced countries. But unfortunately, Pakistan is the 7th most vulnerable country to the disaster induced by the climate changes, and that is where we certainly need to have a very important role. This is the scenario analysis done by ECBO, that what can happen to us in kind of different in terms of livelihood and economy, that if the disaster of the climate is, and let me tell you that all these best scenarios are based on the assumption that the next century temperature will be increasing around 1.5 degrees Celsius. But in fact, the modeling says much worrying that it may go up to 3 to 4 degrees Celsius, and that would mean that in the next 50 years, the Western Himalayas glacier will be melted out maybe by 100%. This is where a high level of sensitivity is required. Again, cryosphere, one of the biggest opportunity of this part is again threatened with different kind of problems, and you can see that's a
So this is the cryosphere conditions in the area. Glaciers in most regions are shrinking and retreating. Glacial mass dose has increased since 2000 and will accelerate in the future. As glaciers continue to retreat, there is an increased risk of dangerous glacial lake outburst floods. Hydrological trends related to cryospheric change are difficult to identify. Future projections point toward reduced snow cover and a lower basin-wide snow water equivalent. Capacity for adaptation and risk reduction diluted due to the lack of attention on the impact of permafrost change. Ice coverage decline in larger lakes.
There are two major problems. The spatial extent is also varying, rather the glaciers are moving down to the lower elevations which are more susceptible to climate change. And the other is that the ice thickness, तो दो मसाइल है, एक तो हमारा मूवमेंट हो रहा है आगे की तरफ आ रहा है, जो आगे ग्लेशियर लेक्स की तरफ, और अभी हम गए काफ़ी जगहों पे उस एरिया पे इधर कुछ और हमने देखा कि जो historically in some areas even the glaciers have traveled down for kilometers. In Shishbarka, you can see. And the second problem is that the thickness of the glacier